what you're going to get on the next canvas, if you like. It's obviously a brick wall rather than a canvas, but and there it is. It's somehow in many cases managed to seep in so far that even as the walls flaked, it stayed there. Either that or it was made on a flaked wall in the first place, but still it's flaking further, so that some parts which are flaked, it's still, the pattern is on it, and other parts which are flaked, the pattern's already gone. So how old this wall actually is, obviously now that this work has gone into it, it's a good reason not to change the plaster, when otherwise they would have had to change the plaster. They're just giving people a few cans of paint instead of plastering the whole thing. Is probably quite a good economic solution, at least a stopgap solution. I can imagine that some people would be horrified to know that their work had been plastered over with a new lot and somebody else given that slot to redo. But you know, with the kind of temperature extremes you can get in Warsaw, I'd like to see the plaster that you could put on a wall and it sort of simply stay there for good. I don't think that sort of thing happens. Well, that's obviously not, somebody here has actually added their own opinions. 2013 is not the time when this was ever done, think anyway, unless somebody's come and just done the whole thing over somebody else's old one. But in the main, well, 2013 has been added to this one, but in a way which is hopefully not going to, no, 2014 here. I wonder if we're going to get 2015. Is that 2015? No, it's UICS or UKS. UKS? Probably some sports club. Again, more indecipherable, fiery, almost like flames, graphemes. In contorted shapes, in strange relationships to each other. I wish I'd measured the length of the wall. It seems like more than a kilometre of continual, whoa, yeah, right the way back there, of continual art, one after another. It's almost like an art gallery in and of itself. It's just long and thin. I wonder how it actually shapes up to the amount of actual canvas space in something like, say, Wilanów, or the, well, people use English for these things. Of course, the age of the beat street wave is here. Everybody, let's sing along. Now, come on. Say who. Say who. I mean, H-O-O, not who, as in who is it. And to let me know, I'm rocking the whatever, because somebody else has painted over it. Everybody say esk-o. And there seems to be somebody, just a crocodile here, with a propeller on his head. That's another thing from New Pogadi, if I'm not mistaken. Just finishing it off there. There's a blue Japanese guy, at least he's got a Japanese bandana on his head, with matching rising suns on his cheeks, and some kind of a knife in his rather distorted fingers, pointing to people to enter, with the blood dripping down, and the steps going up. But this is not floating, this entry thing is just floating on nothing. So it looks like a con may be going on there. The guy's obviously not just inviting but also threatening at the same time to make you go into something which has no base, and where you're going to probably not be able to get out again, where you probably won't be safe. I wonder if it's all about people inviting people to start taking drugs or something. But what's that got to do with Japan? I don't think the Japanese are a main player in that area. I mean, not here in Poland anyway. You don't get the Yakuzas, the Japanese gangsters doing much here. So what we got here? Who remains in the memory of the living? And obviously it's some kind of a military thing. And here are some, I don't know whether they're the names of troops. Żołnierze wyklęci. Pamiętamy, we'll remember them. So these are the soldiers which were disavowed, in a sense, disavowed soldiers. Whether these are the nicknames of individual ones or if they were names of troops, of soldiers that got disavowed by the communist government at the end of the war. I don't know enough about history to know whether that is, but here we go. This is the first of them. This is called a place of remembrance for the country, and sure enough, it's been respected. The first of the almost like leading as a leitmotif into the graffiti area is like some street art, but which actually is respectful to the dead, and it seems to really fit. And then there's a blank space, and there's this place there, and another blank space, and then more graffiti afterwards. But they've given a respectful distance on both sides to this place of remembering the dead. It's about the memory of the prisoners, of the political prisoners, including soldiers of the National Army who were murdered in the years 45 to 56 at the territory of the racecourse on Służewiec, which is this. And they were dying for an independent Poland, or they died for independent Poland. Yeah? The soldiers of the regiment called Baszta raised this monument in September 2001, and it was designed by somebody called Eugeniusz Guzek. And you can see a map of Poland, which is this line there, the wavy line, is the shape of Poland, and over it a thicker metal grille showing what was going on to the country in the years after the war. Obviously it was captive, essentially, in the Warsaw Pact. More graffiti here after a respectful distance of it not being. And some rather violent looking stuff. So yeah, so I think it's basically one of the longest art galleries that you would find in the city. Because how many more of them have got like a few kilometres? Well, this is more than a kilometre. I don't know if it's 1.5 kilometres. I'd have to look on the map, but it seems to be more than 1 kilometre's worth of wall to, art, linear, 2.5 metres high by a linear length of over a kilometre. So I wonder how that compares to the canvases in a lot of the city's museums. Of course, this is art which will fade. It won't be here. The film may well turn out to be longer than, or live longer than the actual art, because it's crumbling the whole time. You try it not crumbling in Warsaw's extremes of temperatures, sometimes 40 degrees plus in the summer or more, like when I had pneumonia, because I don't have much resistance for the heat. I have more for the cold. There's the entrance gates, obviously, for the area of, seems to be a lot of cars here, but who knows, they may be for the offices nearby rather than for working on the actual. Anyway, that's the area of the horse racing. Seems to be a disused entrance, actually, because it's all boarded up. I don't think that they would do that if it was used. Something like the Tasmanian Devil from the Hanna-Barbera, is it? Series of films? It's not a Walt Disney character, the Tasmanian Devil, I don't think. And there's a little shrine up there the Catholics like to have in various places. That's one of the ways in which you can walk back along that way. But I'm going to use Rzymowskiego. I've never actually walked, ladies and gentlemen, the way that I'm walking today. The reason is that I'm coming back from the Uzbekistan consulate, where I was trying to get a visa. The guys just showed me that my visa form printed out all wrong, which is not my fault, it's the technology. So I have to go back and do it again. He was very, very polite though. He wasn't one of these people that was trying to be difficult. So it gives me the opportunity to walk a little bit, which I think is good. Now I'm getting into an area where there's going to be lots of office spaces, and I might be able to pop in, just get a drink somewhere, just a cup of coffee, because I only had one small coffee this morning. And after all this walking, how much have I got in on my actual pedometer? 4.3, which probably means that was about 1.5 kilometres of space on that. I took the bus much further on the way down, as I want to be sure of being earlier. Coming back, I'd rather just get some of the what do you call it? That looks like I will have to cross. Yes, I'll have to cross. I have no idea about this actually, it's completely new to me. But I don't know if it's Rzymowskiego or not. I'd have to check my phone. I'll stop, I think, but basically what I wanted to say was... Oh, I may as well go down it. Why not? I'll go down this. I don't want to go up Płaska too far, because it's going to become even more... At least the interesting thing is to walk places where you haven't been. To my mind, that's interesting. So if I haven't been here, then even if it doesn't look great, I'll prefer to walk it than somewhere else. I think it's that Rzymowskiego place, but I'm not sure. Wasn't really paying enough attention coming down, and I don't think I've really seen it from this angle before. So, and I don't think I've really driven it for a long time, and when you drive it you're just looking at the road signs telling you where to go, and rather than the same cues that you're looking for when you're walking. Hello doggy. So yeah, Fiat Group and Iveco and all that lot are in there. Catalina Office Centre. Katari, Katari. Na 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 na, perché mi dicesti parole d'amore, amare, perché mi danas tu, tormiente Katari. Non c'è scorda che t'aggio dato corre Katari, non c'è scorda Katari, etc. I'm not in voice today. I have to work up to that. Certainly a big song like that. So it does actually enable me to go across, does it? Not sure that I should take it though. I'll stick on this side maybe, I don't know. I just don't know what to do. That's going to be the inside of the curve, isn't it? And also, it's going to offer me that bus if I decide I've had enough. .3 before breakfast isn't bad. Something to be going on with, and I've got work to do too. I've got to reconcile walking places where I'd have to go anyway to work and the actual time it takes to do buses and things. So, you know, there's people waiting for stuff, so I better get on and do it. That's basically it.